Hello and welcome to another motors.co.uk new car review. Now today we're going to be looking at the chunky little Audi A1 Citycarver. But before we jump behind the wheel and find out what it's like, please remember to like this video, leave us a comment below to tell us what you think of it, and don't forget to subscribe to the motors.co.uk channel, hitting that bell icon so that you get notified each and every time we upload a new video. In its never-ending quest to fill niches, Audi has released this, the A1 Citycarver. It's essentially a beefed-up version of its smallest Super Mini, designed to appeal to those people who like a slightly chunkier-looking small car. Is it a niche too far, though? Let's jump behind the wheel and find out. The styling of the Citycarver is blink and you'll miss it, similar to that of the standard A1, save for some additional black cladding at both the front and the rear of the car. It's also had its ground clearance raised by a staggering 5 centimetres. Another reason why it's hard to distinguish this Citycarver from the standard A1 Audi. The interior of the A1 Citycarver is a really nice place to be. It's dominated by this large central touchscreen, which is super responsive and really easy to use, and then this is backed up by another digital cockpit in front of you, which houses all of your usual controls, but it's quite customizable, so you can change it to just how you like it. Elsewhere, things are good. The material quality is nice. There aren't too many harsher plastics, which is something you'd want from a car of this type. And this brighter touch in the middle really does help lift an otherwise quite dark cabin. In all, it's a very well executed design and one that you'd expect from Audi. Boot space is decent for a car of this size at 335 litres, and though the rear seats don't go completely flat, folding them down does result in an increased load area of 1,090 litres. This A1 is powered by a 1 litre turbocharged petrol engine, badged 30 TFSI, which produces 114 brake horsepower and 200 Nm of torque. Sending power to the front wheels through an automatic gearbox, it'll do 0 to 60 miles an hour in under 9.5 seconds and carry on to 126 miles an hour flat out. Economy figures are good too, with a quoted 48.7 mpg combined and emissions of 111 grams per kilometre of CO2. Underneath the A1 Citycarver sits the same basic platform as the regular A1, understandably. However, because of that ride increase of about 5 centimetres, it means that there's a much softer edge to the suspension than the standard car. And that means that if you put comfort over everything else, then you're going to prefer this to the standard A1. Elsewhere, things are pretty much the same. You get the 1 litre turbocharged petrol engine that we've already mentioned underneath the bonnet, and here it's linked to an automatic gearbox. Now, it isn't the most powerful of engines, but it does give the car enough performance for most daily driving. However, this automatic gearbox still suffers from that initial lag when you're pulling away, so press the accelerator when you're going away from a roundabout, and it's a couple of seconds before the power actually delivers, and that can make things a little bit tricky. When it comes to refinement, the A1 Citycarver does quite well. There's not a huge amount of road noise, though that engine can get quite vocal under hard acceleration and even just when you're at motorway speeds. So if you do longer journeys, then it may be best to look elsewhere. However, the steering, though relatively lifeless, does give a certain amount of accuracy to the car, and you can place it just where you want it, which is helpful. And then given the car's small size, it means that on country roads like we are today, then it's not too difficult to pilot around. The light steering that you get in the Citycarver really plays to where it's meant to be positioned for, and that's an urban environment. So when you're parking the car or trying to nip in and out of traffic, that lighter steering really does come into its own. And it's the same case for visibility. These quite narrow pillars mean that you've got a great amount of forward view, and the same can be said for the back, though the rear screen is a little bit on the slim side. There are driving modes in the Citycarver. You've got efficiency, auto, individual and sport. But it doesn't really feel like the type of car for the keener driver. I mean, this is an automatic car, but it doesn't come with shift paddles behind the steering wheel. I think that's an indication of who this car is positioned towards. It's not for someone who likes to drive enthusiastically down their favourite country road. It's for someone who wants a reliable, everyday and easy to drive car, which is best suited around town or in those, as we've mentioned, urban environments. The Audi A1 Citycarver is quite a strange proposition. On the one hand, it doesn't offer a whole lot more than the standard and already very good Audi A1. However, on the other, it does give a slightly more comfortable ride, which means that if you do like things on the slightly softer side, then the A1 Citycarver could be a car well worth considering. Thank you for watching this video review of the Audi A1 Citycarver. And if you did like this review and would like to see other similar videos about some of its rivals, then please follow the links coming up next.